Good Thursday night. Welcome to another edition of everybody saying Thursday night Throwdown. Yeah. It's your boys, the Sideline Junkies, giving you another show. We're going to be here for a short time, but we're going to be here for a good time. Tonight, as always, I'm the Midnight Rider, and I got my boy with me. We've been battling some technical things. We're going to try to give you the best show we can. We got the big guy, KG. KG, talk.
What's going on, everybody? It's me. It's the big guy, KG. We're going to get into this thing. First and foremost, how you feeling tonight, Midnight Rider?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm a little hungry. I skipped lunch because I was trying to get a couple things done at work. So once we get off this Zoom, StreamYard, everything, I'm about to make a move and order me some food.
Don't forget to tip your waitress or your delivery driver. But I know you know this because you laid all this out for us, so I'm going to throw the floor over to you. NBA in-season tournament. What's your thoughts? How you feel? Because I got some thoughts too, but I want to know what's going on. Enlighten me, please.
Well, we've had the first games, and then tomorrow night we get another set of games. And I think I got to give the NBA an A for effort, and a C for nice try. Because this tournament, they've done everything to try to bring attention to it. They made sure you had the Richard Jefferson breakdown of telling you how the tournament worked, what was everything in the tournament. They did the special shows leading up to it. So I'm guessing tomorrow night, there's going to be a heavy emphasis on the in-season tournament. And then they even changed it to the floors. I mean, the floors at these arenas are decked out. They got the NBA Cup in the middle. It's a little funky to watch, to be honest with you. But that might be just my 48-year-old eyes. And maybe that's just what's throwing me off. The jerseys are different a little bit. So it depends, man. But I think they're trying. And I think we won't know the full thoughts on this until we get to December 9th in Las Vegas and somebody actually hoists the trophy up to know if this is a success or if it was an abject failure. But again, they even have, if you go on ESPN, you're trying to figure out where your team is on the in-season tournament, in the standings block, they actually have a standings breakdown for the in-season tournament. And if you're in the Sideline Junkies podcast group or the Sideline Junkies 24/7, I will try to post it every week along with all our other standings that we post. So that way you guys can stay informed, because that's all we want to do is keep y'all informed. Go ahead, KG, give them your thoughts. You got to unmute your mic, baby. All right, well, maybe he's not ready yet. But, yeah, I mean, again, the simple part about the format is 6 divisions or 6 groups. In those 6 groups, the team that wins that group is automatically moved on to the knockout round. Then they take the team with the best record of the teams left on each side. So you get one team from the East and one wild card team from the West. They become the last 2 entries in what's called the knockout 8 or the 8 knockout teams. After you get that, you get a 1-game tournament. You get down to the Final 4. Once you get to the Final 4 goes to Las Vegas. All right. When they get in Vegas, you have the first game on, I think it's the 7th, and then you have the finals on the 9th. And basically what all that does is it gets you to the point where you can figure out who's the in-season champion, who wins the NBA Cup, and then we get to figure out, is this really worth it, or is it something that we got to give a little bit of time to? I think this isn't something for guys like myself, KG. I don't think that's our cup of tea. That's our thing. I think what's going to work or going to be the difference maker is how will the young generation, the Generation Zs, the elemental, whatever they are, whatever the newest generation is tagged, because I can't keep up with it. This tournament is going to be based on them. And I think if they embrace it, because this is who the NBA is really trying to get. The NBA doesn't care about getting my money, doesn't care about getting KG's money. We're 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? That group that they're trying to get a hold of is the 18 to 29-year-old. They don't watch sports conventionally like we do. They consume their sports totally different. So that's why I think this NBA tournament has a chance, because if it connects with the younger audience, I think that's the reason why the courts are a little bit different. I think that's why you see some of the specialty jerseys, is because we're trying to connect to an audience that isn't the normal audience that we get. We're not trying to get the guy that grew up on Dr. J, grew up on Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. We're trying to get the guys that grew up on guys like LeBron James, where LeBron has been, his career has been a majority of their lifetime. So, KG, you got your thoughts on the in-season tournament? You're still on mute, big guy. All right, looks like we're having some difficulties on that. So we're gonna try to get you guys out of here real quick. KG, if you can hear me, you can drop the tracker and hit the next thing, which is the game tonight, Bears versus the Panthers. That way the scroll be up to date. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Thursday night football, Amazon Prime. Poor Al Michaels, he has to sit through another game with the Chicago Bears. The last time he saw the Chicago Bears, they were dropping 40 points on the Washington Commanders. They were mollywopping the Washington Commanders. So it wasn't much of a ball game, but at least points were being scored. Tonight, you take Justin Fields out of the equation. You get Tyson Bagent starting for the Chicago Bears. The Bears will have Dante Foreman and I always want to call him Deontay Freeman, the Atlanta running back. But it's Dante Foreman, and then you'll also have Roshan Johnson, the running back out of Texas. That's the rookie. And I think Chicago.
Can you hear me now? Okay. We talking about the NBA or in-season tournament. I'm sorry about this, but we're gonna be quick. I don't like the courts. The jerseys are fire. I don't like the courts, and I think you should do it like you would do an NCAA tournament. Put them in regions. If you got these teams playing, you put them in regions, and then you got 4 parts of the country that's getting March Madness style basketball, and then everybody meets up in Vegas for the Final Four, and it's kind of like a preemptive All-Star game almost. You kind of have the atmosphere of it and everything, and then you go. I mean, you gotta cater to the crowd. That's my thing. But other than that, just give it some time. It's like Novocaine, it'll work.
KG, you're absolutely right, man. That's why I was just saying, like, I think the way the tournament is going to work is, again, it's not for guys like us. It's for the younger generation to latch on to the game. And I think the other thing is, the only reason they didn't do regions is because they're trying to keep the NBA schedule in context. So they're not making so many changes that the schedule is out of whack. So that's why they did it in each conference by teams. They broke them down that way because I think they wanted to try to save some of the scheduling in the NBA. There's these teams don't have certain games on their schedule. I think there's a window of 4 games on the schedule that's not taken up. And that's where these tournament games at the end of the year get made up, or they make up the regular season games that weren't had because of this tournament. So that's how that plays out. And KG, right before you jumped in, I started breaking down Chicago and Carolina. Just telling everybody that Chicago, last time they were on, Justin Fields destroyed the Washington Commanders. But he's out and Tyson Bagent is in. This kid, solid quarterback. Looks like he's decent enough, a decent backup. The running back situation is Dante Foreman and Roshan Johnson from Texas. I think they're going to try to run the ball as much as possible. The update on the game is Chicago is favored by 3. The over-under is 38.5. Again, I think Al Michaels and company are in for an interesting ball game. Don't know if it's going to be a barn burner. I doubt it very seriously. I mean, with the over under being 38.5, that makes it real interesting. The other thing in tonight, you get Montez Sweat playing the second game. After he signed the contract, how is that going to work out for him? He's got his money now. Now it's time to just produce. You're getting paid like a top 5 DN. Are you going to produce like a top 5 DN? Your thoughts, KG, on the Chicago side of this?
Well, with Montez Sweat, I follow a couple Chicago fan pages as far as the Bears go, especially the Bulls, and I'm getting tired of a lot of the Bulls pages because they want to demean everybody and make it seem like we're this great team. We're not. As far as the Chicago Bears go, they're clowning Montez Sweat. Oh, he's like Khalil Mack. They traded Khalil Mack for a second-round pick, and they traded a second-round pick to get Montez Sweat. Khalil Mack had 6 sacks in the game. Montez Sweat only got 6 sacks all season. Like, why are you clowning this dude? And I'm not saying that because he was here as a Commander. I'm saying that because you haven't even given him a chance. Like, you got a shit organization. You get a talent like that, and you dog him, and then you want to expect him to stay. I hope he asks for a trade at the end of the season so they can trade him elsewhere, just so they don't have the talent anymore. Like, I don't understand the fan base. These ain't shit ass fan bases have a problem when they get talent and somebody gets paid. Obviously, he can do this. Let him work. Now, if he comes out tonight and has 3.5, 4 sacks, I don't want to hear nothing else.
Yeah, but I think part of the problem is the Chicago fan base has watched Chicago let Roquan Smith out of town when he won a new contract. They decided not to pay him. They have the kid Jalen Johnson playing corner, who's a 24-year-old budding star. You refuse to pay him. Then you bring in some guy that probably you could have gotten in free agency for the amount of money that you're paying for him without having to give up the pick. I think the problem is the pick for everybody because they like, oh, why couldn't you just wait and get this in free agency? I think some people don't like the fact that I think Chicago was looking for an exclusive window where if the worst case scenario, they couldn't sign him, they would franchise tag him and then figure out the contract later on. But luckily for them, they've probably been having these conversations ever since the trades talk started, which is why they felt comfortable giving up a second rounder for Montez Sweat because they basically knew a deal was inevitable. So that's all that is. Go ahead, KG. Your thoughts?
Well, Paul says Bears fans haven't had anything to be excited about since Lovey, and he's absolutely right. If you look at the last 3 coaches that they've had, they haven't even equaled Lovey Smith's win total in one of his seasons. Like, you haven't had anything since Lovey. It's a problem. Be grateful for what you got. You got a talent. And I'm pissed off that you got the talent, but you don't even appreciate it. I digress. It's becoming personal. I don't need it to become personal, but I picked Chicago to win this game, for various reasons, but I picked Chicago to win this game, and I think that I agree with you. They're going to run the ball, but I think their defense is going to stand tall. What you got on Carolina?
So with Carolina, you have the number 1 pick, Bryce Young, and then you already got rumblings because of the success that you've seen CJ Stroud have that maybe they picked the wrong guy. I've said this many times on the show because Tepper was a Pittsburgh guy. I thought he would automatically gravitate to Stroud because of the bigger frame, because of some of the similarities to Ben. We talked about it the other day. Certain things we're not going to talk about. Midgeville is one of them. Paul Cordova always says. Secondly, I think the problem that Bryce Young has is the weapons on the outside. I mean, you trade away his best weapon. You replace DJ Moore with Adam Thielen. And I just think that's not enough for a young quarterback to come into. Now, maybe, with their in this upcoming draft, if they can recoup a pick somewhere or get a pick from somebody, or if they can get a second rounder, get some of their second round pick, maybe Carolina can make a difference in getting a wide receiver in town, or maybe they can sign a guy like a T. Higgins, who I think is going to be a free agent in us all season. So Carolina has options there. The defense, I think Burns is out. So their defense has been kind of middle of the road or close to lower end of the pack. So I don't expect much out of Carolina's defense. That's why I think this is going to be actually a surprisingly higher score game than we think. I think they're going to get the over, but it's going to be like a 24-21 over. It's not going to be the most aesthetically pleasing 24-21 ball game. I will take Carolina. I'm sorry, I'm taking Chicago, the 3 points, and 24-17 type of victory. Somewhere where we just trickle over, but the over should be. KG?
I'm gonna say this about Carolina. If I'm in the front office, I'm not trying to rush Bryce Young, but I'm going to dig my heels in. I'm gonna stand behind him, but I'm gonna get him what he needs to win. If Marvin Harrison Jr. comes out, Marvin Harrison Jr. will be a Carolina Panther next year. You get your receiving free agency. You put Thielen in the slot. You get you another solid running back that can help carry some of the load until you find you a good dominant 3-4 down back, not a 1-2 back down. You got to build, but it's going to take time. You have to trust the process, not Philadelphia 76ers process, but the process of the NFL. When you have a good GM and a good front office that work together to get the pieces that are needed. Frank Wright, probably arguably the greatest backup quarterback next to Earl Morrall, is their coach. The dude knows how to win. He won in Indianapolis a little bit. I really felt that Irsay pulled the trigger too soon and got rid of him, but I can't control that. But give Frank a little time. You'll see Bryce Young in a different light soon, I'm sure. But I'm taking Chicago in this one. I need Carolina to lose as many games as possible so they can get that high pick and they can get who they want in the draft.
Okay, you don't forget that that first round pick this year is in Chicago's hands because they traded up with Chicago for the ability to draft Bryce Young. So for the Bears, this is a win-win type of ball game because if they drop the ball game, they make their draft position better, and if they win this ball game, they make the Carolina pick even better. So it's a win-win for them, no matter how this plays out. I'm gonna watch it, Paul. I see what you're saying. The only people watch the game are fans of the teams or people who have fantasy players involved. I'm taking the under on this game, being interesting. It's gonna be a fight. I think it's gonna be a late. I think we're gonna get to the over, but I think it's gonna be late. I think it's gonna be under 2 minutes, and that's when we hit the over. I don't see this sailing past the over at all by any means possible. But any final thoughts? Because we want to get up out of here a little early today, just because we've been having some audio issues on our side. KG?
No final thoughts. I agree with Paul. I don't think nobody's really watching this game, but unless you're a football fan, a Panther fan, or a Bear fan, that's it. But other than that, I think ain't there some NBA on tonight? I think it's some college basketball on tonight. Hey, it's got to be something. We at that time of year where it's so many options on at night. You probably can watch some Division III college basketball. Shoot, you can watch some Catholic University versus Little Sisters of the Poor or something, other than watching this game. So maybe we need to do a segment like that on games like this. We need to go around the knob. Oh no, we may not do that. Pause. Maybe we need. You're not supposed to laugh. Maybe we need to go around the TV or something. But just find alternatives to watching poor games like this.
Woo! We're definitely not calling that segment that for sure. And plus that's kind of antiquated because we don't really. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to that scenario. But I'll say it for you guys. It's degenerates like me, fans of the team, that are going to watch this ball game. So I understand that, and I appreciate you guys massaging the words and not calling me a degenerate outright. I'll call myself that. Only I want to say wrap it up is, yes, you got basketball tonight. There's plenty of hoops on. There's plenty of college hoops. So if you're into, and then there's some hockey tonight. So you got options. No, we do not love that. I'm not even going to say that. No, sir, Paul. No, sir. That goes right up there, that little box with Midgeville. We're gonna take Around the Knob with KG, Midgeville, and what Martin said in that Bad Boys movie, and My Mama's Titties, and put them in a box and throw it out in the ocean. And Jacques Cousteau couldn't find that bitch. That's what we're gonna do with Around the Knob with KG, buddy. We're gonna throw that out in the middle of the ocean. But I don't have anything else, big man. You want to close us out?
Thank you all for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Get your fantasy picks in, set them lineups. But until next time, we damn sure ain't doing no overtime tonight, y'all. We are out of here.